Trip.com Group is China's largest online travel platform and aspires to be the world's leading industry leader. I caught up with co-founder James Liang and CEO Jane Sun in an exclusive interview to find out more about how they plan to fulfill that ambition. Since its founding in 1999, Trip.com Group has experienced a remarkable transformation. Back in the early days, the company was called Trip, aptly named for its initial focus on its travel business in China. Fast forward to today, the company, which comprises of Skyscanner, Trip, Qunar, and Trip.com, has become one of the leading global online travel platforms. As the post-pandemic travel boom reshapes the industry, what lies ahead for Trip.com Group? I met up with the company's co-founder, James Liang, at a recent travel industry trade show in Singapore to find out. James, so good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Yeah.
When you co-founded Trip way back in 1999, your initial focus was to really target needs of the Chinese traveler. After the acquisition of Trip.com, in 2017, you took the brand name, you made the pivot to become a global player in online travel. That's a major shift in strategy. Why was that important to you?
Well, 23 years ago, most of the travel in China is actually business travel. So naturally, we'll focus on domestic travel. But as the Chinese economy developed and the leisure travel become a bigger part of the overall industry, and also overseas travel, outbound travel has become a bigger part of the overall travel market. So naturally, we want to develop outside of China. And then naturally, we want to go into market our product services in neighboring countries. Then we have a global ambition to be, the best travel agency, not just in China, but around the world.
Back then, were you 100% sure it was the right decision to make?
Yeah. I think in order to be very competitive, even just serving the Chinese customers, you want to have a significant volume for all the international destinations, international hotels. But if the volume too small, if you're just serving Chinese customers, that's not going to be enough. For certain destinations, you want to have Asia volume, for example, to be a really significant partner for those hotels. So it is a requirement that we're not just serving the Chinese customer. We want to serve at least the Asia customers to be able to compete globally with of course, Booking.com and Expedia, the global players.
Apart from Trip.com, you also acquired Skyscanner, a UK flight search engine, as well as 3 tour operators in the US. What else are you looking at on your radar to help you fulfill your ambitions to be a global player in online travel?
I think overall the big players is not many targets left anymore, right? The big players on the global front. And I mean, there may be smaller technology companies that will be interested in. Unless we expand beyond travel, but I think overall we're going to be more organic growth in the next few years.
The global online travel market is fiercely competitive. You have to go head-to-head with global rivals like Expedia Group, Booking Holdings. What is your value proposition? How will you compete?
We have certain advantages that we think we've accumulated over the years. First of all, our app is more user-friendly and functionally richer because we started from app environment. So in China, we sort of skipped the web internet. We came directly from phone-based to app-based. So our app, even 6 years ago, our app, the percentage of transaction app is already over 90-95%. It's way ahead of other countries. So naturally, we built the best app. So the other advantage is, of course, in Asia, because Chinese customers is the biggest source of demand, we were able to leverage our source of demand to get the most favorable prices and availability in hotels and flights and etc. I think we have the best offer to customers if they want to travel in Asia. So our goal is to be a leader in Asia, and then naturally we're moving to different parts of the world later.
And to stay ahead of the competition, the company relies on using the latest tech to improve its app services for customers. These days, the big buzzword in the travel industry is AI and how it is transforming online travel platforms like Trip.com. You've recently launched your own AI customer service chatbot, Trip Genie. How does it work? Tell us more about your AI-driven strategy and what sort of ecosystem you're trying to build.
Yeah, we had a service travel bot for many years, but the latest offer is Trip Genie, which is an agent that will help customers to plan their trip, to form inspirations and plan their trip. And it takes advantage of the latest large language model capability, integrating with our real-time data and also inputs from expert opinions to generate the perfect travel itinerary for our customers.
Please give me an itinerary for 3 days.
Personalization is key to this technology. For example, if you ask the AI agent to plan a 3-day trip to Singapore, it will ask you what your interests are, and then outline an itinerary and provide links to book anything you need. Everything is done as a conversation. What impact will AI adoption have on your bottom line? Where will you feel the most impact?
Well, first of all, it will continue to increase our customer service automation capabilities. We don't need to hire as many as human agents with the AI helping. The other is really have customers reduce their frustration in terms of travel planning and make it very efficient and even fun with the AI agent. I think they will make people to travel more actually if you have the right recommendation.
Compared to your domestic revenue, do you have a target, a revenue target you want to hit for your international business? What sort of percentage are you looking at?
Well, I hate to have a percentage target because usually we have, okay, in someday if 30% of our business is outside of China, we'll be very happy. Then we magically achieved that during the COVID period when China is shut down. So I usually don't say
but
that.
But now that things are returning to normal, what do the numbers look like?
Yeah, I would say 30-40% of the overall volume. It's definitely possible if we really let our product and the services known to our potential customers.
Could you grow faster?
Well, we kind of pursue the long-term steady growth. We're not going to be like having an explosive growth like 40-50% a year like some of the e-commerce. But even 10 years away in the future, we could be growing 20% a year because the travel industry is growing faster than GDP growth, and we're constantly expanding to new market and also taking shares from traditional players. So we'll be growing much faster than the rest of the economy. So we have a long-term steady growth target. We're going to want to go 20% the next 10 years straight. Yeah.
Long-term, do you think your international business could overtake your domestic market?
China still has a fast-growing economy. I mean, even though it's growing 5-6% a year, much slower like 10 years ago, but still one of the fastest growing economies. So unless China really slows down, I think we'll have still Chinese market will be a bigger part of our overall revenue. But the international revenue could be as high as 30-40%.
Don't go anywhere, more with James Liang. But first up, after the break, I catch up with Jane Sun, CEO of Trip.com Group.
We do see a strong demand for people to travel into these rural areas.
Managing Asia will be right back. Welcome back to Managing Asia. I'm at Trip.com Group's Global Partner Summit in Singapore. This is the first time it's held outside of China, and I'm here to meet the company's CEO, Jane Sun. Over 2,000 Trip.com Group partners, including tourism boards, airlines, and hotel chains, attend an annual Global Partner Summit to explore the newest travel trends and products. It is also where the organization can get a sense of the pulse of the tourism industry. You spend the whole day meeting partners.
That's right.
Is there an immense feeling of optimism, at the same time relief that travel is finally recovering?
Very much so, very much so. During the past 3 years, it was very challenging for the travel industry. So finally, this energy is released. Everyone is so excited to see the industry is recovering so rapidly. So we are ready to grasp the opportunity.
The main participants at the summit here are all from China. The country was the first to undergo a lockdown and the last to come out of it. What can you tell us about the return of the Chinese tourists?
Yeah, the Chinese tourist return is very strong. If you look at the May holiday and the Golden Week holiday, we have seen a very strong pickup from the volume. Not only we recovered to 2019 level, we far exceeded 2019 level.
Which country or region are you seeing the most pent-up demand in terms of travel?
If you look at the region in Asia, Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia got lots of volume. In terms of Europe, Switzerland, France, and Italy get lots of volume.
So the Chinese traveler is really doing revenge traveling at this time?
That's correct. That's correct.
In the last couple of years, Trip.com has taken extensive steps to develop rural tourism. You've actually tied up with luxury resort developer
Correct.
Naked Group to identify locations across China to build high-end accommodations in some of these rural areas. How many of these high-end accommodations have you built, and what's in the pipeline?
Yeah, we would like to build 10 self-built resorts and influence 100 villages and also educate 10,000 high-quality tourism-related talents.
You and I know building high-end hospitality in rural China can be very challenging. How much work is involved getting not only the hardware correct, but also the software? And by that I mean the properly trained hospitality staff in these rural areas.
It takes hard work. First of all, we need to get government support. A lot of places don't have very good transportation, do not have very good roads, so we need to work with the local government to make sure this infrastructure is there. And then we need to make sure our building construction team is efficient. And then we need to train the staffs. But everything we put in get very good results. So we're very committed to using tourism as a means to help rural areas.
What's demand like from tourists for these rural accommodations?
The demand is very strong. People have the buying power, particularly when China is suffering from the COVID. Lots of people have to travel to the nearby area. So we do see a strong demand for people to travel into these rural areas.
So you've tied up with Naked Group. Any plans to find other partners to get into rural tourism with you?
Yeah, we're very open-minded. Not only we have Naked Group, we also have many partners who are willing to team up with us. So anyone who have the hearts, who is as committed as we are very welcome to join us.
At the height of the pandemic, you launched a rural tourism revitalization strategy. Clearly that was your vision. Why was that important to you?
Well, that's part of our sustainability initiative. So I think travel is a great for the social cause. One of the benefit it can bring is to help the less developed regions to send tourists from rich regions to those regions, and that really help the local development and also really help the local employment. So we are pretty profitable in China. We think what are the best ways to, or unique ways we can contribute to a more inclusive development. So that's really rewarding to see these resorts being built, and the customers love it.
So building high-end hospitality is quite different from running an online travel business. Is your business model changing? Are you becoming more than just an online travel company?
Yeah, it's quite different. Operating a hotel is very different from operating a travel agency. But this is a mature industry. You can hire the right managers or operating companies. What we can add is the ability for them to market themselves very quickly because we have a huge following on our OTA platform. But the rest of it we are learning, but we are relying on professional partners to do that.
So your business model is changing slightly.
Well, even we're talking about like 20 resorts, but each resort is kind of small. So the physical investment, we also have government to pitching too, so it's not many. But in the future, as we already build up a brand, we can have other investors and we will be just the managing the property. We'll be the property manager rather than the initial investor. So we'll still be light asset, but with more operation know-how for the hotels. Yeah.
Is that going to be a substantial revenue contribution for the company one day?
Well, it will be a while. I think our target is in 5 years, maybe we will have 1,000 properties. Until you get to that level, it will not be a significant revenue or profit generator. But it really helps us with the brand. And these unique properties are usually only available on our platform. So that's also a competitive advantage. They will find those very unique properties on our platform.
Still to come, is Trip.com working towards space travel in the long term? More with James Liang and Jane Sun of Trip.com Group after the break. Welcome back to Managing Asia with James Liang and Jane Sun of Trip.com Group. James, Jane, so rare to have both of you together. You've been working side by side for the past 18 years. What does decision making look like between the both of you? Who calls the shots?
When we read the analysis, if the inputs is the same, normally we drive the same conclusion because we focus a lot on the facts, on the ROI, on the numbers. So surprisingly, regardless the working style, our conclusion is very similar. That's how
I don't make a lot of detailed decisions. For the decisions that are not so long-term or not so big, I can make my opinions known. Even people don't agree with me, but I'm not going to dictate my opinion.
But you do get involved in acquisitions, right, James?
Oh yeah, if it's a big acquisition. No, only big acquisitions, not smaller ones, yeah.
A lot of talk about space travel. Is that going to be inevitable one day?
Yes, I would love to lead our team and our customers to do a space travel.
Oh yeah, long-term human has to travel beyond our planet. Yeah, that's a huge step for human to go beyond the current level of innovation and current level of civilization.
Is Trip.com working towards space travel in the long term?
Yeah, we made a small investment in the new plane, a sonic plane, and I think in the future we would love to team up with the right party to bring our customers to the space.
James?
Yeah, I'm very interested to explore that opportunity, but yeah, currently not so much yet, but yeah, we're very interested in explore that possibility, yeah.
Staying innovative has always been a big part of Trip.com's corporate DNA. You've spoken openly that having more children will increase innovation. The company itself has committed something like 1 billion renminbi or $136 million in childcare subsidies. Have you seen the results? Are your employees becoming more creative and more innovative?
Well, yeah, innovation is really need both the hardware and the software. Software is the research and development. Hardware is the human brain. We need more brains and more research development effort. And having children is a kind of form of innovation, right? It's a genetic innovation. So it's hardware innovation. So innovation and the human population is really go hand in hand. And historically, China went through a period of expanding innovation, many young people, many talents, and the economy is growing well. But China currently has a fertility crisis, if you will. The fertility rate is one of the lowest in the world. And what companies can do, we've tried to set an example. We give our female employees certain benefits like child subsidy, also some benefit if they want to delay their pregnancy to like later to have their eggs frozen, etc. And also have a flexible working scheme, like 3 days in office, they can have 2 days at home. That's also very forward-looking compared to other Chinese companies. So we'll try to provide all the benefits to have a family-friendly working environment. It's still early to measure the overall impact, but I think just looking at the numbers, the employee satisfaction and the retention rate, especially for women leaders, the effect is great. Yeah.
It's been more than 20 years since you began your startup journey. Looking back, what advice would you give your younger self on how to build a successful business?
I think we had gone international earlier. We have better market share than it is today, because Chinese started to traveling abroad starting 2010, but it took us a few years. Actually, I was doing a PhD at Stanford during that period. So we had more local competition. We focused too much on local competition during these few years. So we could have developed the business internationally earlier. So that's some.
That's one of your regrets.
Yeah. If we started earlier, not necessarily to really invest in branding, but in terms of building the technology platform, we can be more open and multilingual to have a better foundation. But we had to do it later. We had to revamped, rewrote a lot of things. Yeah.
As co-founder and chairman, what leadership qualities do you want to pass on to the next generation of leaders within the company?
Well, I think our leadership team already inherited some of that. First of all is the passion for travel. I've told internally and externally many times why travel is so important. It's good socially, but also important for innovation and to bring people together around the world, help promote understanding and peace. And we're all passionate, and we all have a very optimistic view of the travel's long-term growth. As I said, we probably will be growing 20% for decades. And the other thing is we want to be more scientific. I coming from academic background, have a PhD in economics, so we want to be data-driven, and we want to run experiments. We want to try different things. And lastly, of course, we're a technology-driven company. We will be very observant of the latest development and how to mix that, with our industry. So to come up with the leading player to lead the overall industry in terms of the technology adoption. Yeah.
How would you describe your own personal leadership style?
I think I'm more laid back than some of the prominent business leaders. We want to be having the right strategy. We want to do the right thing, and steadily moving towards our goal. That's kind of our style. And the travel is a happy industry. We want to have our happy customers and happy partners, and most importantly, happy employees.
And finally, what does the future look like for Trip.com?
Well, we want to be the one of the global leaders.
Can you be number
travel.
one?
Well, very long term, yeah. I think Asia, even if we were just a leader in Asia, Asia will be the biggest travel market and the biggest economy as well. Of course, our ambition is not just Asia. Over the years, we've made some very successful acquisition outside of Asia. So naturally, yeah, our ambition is the number one in the world. Yeah.
How long will it take?
Yeah, it's not important to make certain numbers at certain year. We want to have the best customer experience and best travel infrastructure, and to be the leader in adopting the latest technologies. If we can do that, then the market share will come back. It will come to us naturally.
James, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Thanks to James Liang and Jane Sun of Trip.com Group. I hope you've enjoyed the program. For more interview highlights, do check out managingasia.cnbc.com. I'm Christine Tan. Thanks for watching.